Hello, welcome to How to Cook Great Soups. Today we'll be making a sweet corn and potato chowder. This is very simple indeed. As you can see, I've got some chopped potatoes, a large can of sweet corn, equal parts potatoes to onions chopped, and butter. It's about 100 grams of butter there, or half a standard packet. The only other ingredient that is added is salt and pepper. Okay, so here we are then. So I've got a large pan here at the moment. I've got this on the heat. We're now going to melt the butter. But what I like to do first is I like to add just a little bit of oil, just a regular cooking oil. What this does is stops the butter from burning. So we'll add the butter here now. In she goes. And while that's just melting, we can go straight in with the onions. And the potatoes. And the salt and pepper. As I said before, this dish requires only salt and pepper. There's no garlic, there's no chili, there's nothing. It's very simple. So all we're going to do is we're just going to cook these for literally 5 minutes. Then we'll add the corn, then we'll add the water, and you'll see how wonderful and fast and simple this dish is. Okay, so after 5 minutes we'll just take a look now. That's looking beautiful. As you can see, they've just taken slightly, the butter's seeping into the onions and the potatoes. We'll simply now just add the sweet corn. Tinned sweet corn works so well. We'll give that a little stir up for just a few moments. Then we're just going to add water, just cold water here, about 2 litres. Let's see what that looks like. You need to cover that over. That's perfect. So, one last little stir. We're going to bring this to the boil, then we're going to simmer it for 15 minutes max. Then we're going to liquidize it. And then this soup is ready. See you in a few moments. Okay, so that's been on now for 10 minutes. As you can see, it's looking beautiful. We're just waiting for the potatoes really to sort of cook down into like a into a broth. So I'm going to lower the heat on this, put the lid back on. I'll be back in 5 minutes, and then we'll be ready to liquidize. Okay, so we'll take a look now at the soup, see how we're doing. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. What I'm going to do now is turn the heat off, and then I'm using one of these fellas here, which is a submergible liquidizer. They're much easier and more convenient than using a food blender. You're straight into the pot, there's no particular mess. So let's give this a little whirl up and see how we get on. Okay, so this is looking pretty good to me. If the soup becomes too thick, you can add a little bit more water to thin it down. But at this stage, this is a great consistency for me. A real nice, beautiful chowder. So we're going to go back in with the machine and make sure that it's really smooth. Then she's ready to roll. Enjoy.